Anybody else you want to talk about, Jake?
Yeah. There's one guy who I've been pondering to the Knicks lately. Undoubtedly the most controversial. So we had to save him for last. So if anyone's still listening, that's where end of the podcast where we get the most takes off.
Oh yeah, hot take. And I've watched like a
I know
couple
who
of.
you're gonna say. So
I
go ahead.
watched a
I know.
couple of stuff before, so I already know where you're going with
I know
this.
what you're gonna say.
So I
Well,
already
he said
know.
it earlier in this podcast.
I think I got a look when I said him too. So
Yeah, you did.
I gotta ask though. What is this? So we're talking about Jalen Duren. I'm talking about Jalen Duren, of Memphis center, who is a center. There is no way around it. You will not play him and Mitch Robinson together. We get this out of the way. What does your ideal second contract for Mitchell Robinson look like?
I think he's worth the 55.6 over 4 that he's eligible for. I think that's the perfect number for him. And I think it's on the table from the Knicks, and he'll probably take that. That's what's gonna, because he's probably trying to see if he can get 18 million a year. He's not gonna get that, but he could get the 55.6 and move on with life. I think that's gonna happen.
You think it's on the table? Because all the reports have been that the Knicks haven't even offered him anything close to.
No, if you listen to Leon, they said they're working all the way up to July 1st. They put the money on the table.
So you think they're playing hardball? You think they're playing hardball?
I think Mitch is playing hardball because Mitch wants to get, like he should. He's been underpaid for 4 years, so he's trying to make up that money. So so he's thinking, man, if I can get 18, if I can get 20, and so that's what they're going to just see what the open market brings him. I don't think anybody. I think Ian Begley said it best. The teams that would really want him are playoff teams, and none of them, because of this situation, can offer him more than the mid-level. Only the mid-level exception. So you're talking about 4 years, 40 million, but the Knicks got 4 years, 55.6 on the table, and he'll take that. He's going to end up back in New York. So to me, any five. And
so you would pay that. You would pay that.
Oh hell yeah. To me, just the defensive anchor aspect is worth it. I'm not worried about. He's going to get offense. I think everybody is just really not watching him closely enough to understand he's going to be able to score some points. I'm not worried about him. He's not going to be a 20-10 guy, but he could definitely score more than he's been scoring. But to me, the defensive anchor situation on his side, is worth the price of admission. First of all, any five that comes into the NBA has to spend 2 seasons learning not to get in foul trouble. Any five. Okay. so he's going to spend at least 2 seasons learning. This is Jalen Duren learning not to foul out of a game. Okay, that's what he's going to do. And so that's just any five that comes, especially an athletic kid like him. He's going to be jumping through the roof on head fakes. Somebody, all of these guys are going to be head faking him into the roof, and he's going to be fouling out in 3 minutes. I mean, that's just where he's going to be. That's the prototypical, to me, aside from point guard, the 5 position is the second hardest position to learn in the NBA. You got to be able to call out the defense. You got to be able to call out the picks. You got to see what's going on. And when the Knicks got DeAndre Jordan, he helped Mitch with that. That was Mitch's second year. He helped Mitch with that. Third year, he was playing good, and then he got his foot broke, and he could not do anything last summer as far as working on anything. So he spent this whole half a season getting in shape. This summer, he's working on his shot. And I'm expecting to see. I'm not thinking he's, like I said, he's not going to be a 20-point scorer, but he's going to be a much better.
How many times have you seen clips of Mitchell Robinson shooting an open gym?
The year before last, we saw him. Not last year because he was hurt, but the year before last, we saw
every year before that we seen him.
Every year
before the injured year.
No, his rookie year you didn't see him at all. His second year you saw him. Last year you didn't because he was hurt. How you doing? He wasn't even playing last year. He was hurt.
Even this every year. Even this summer, a video already came out with him shooting the ball in the open gym.
Mitchell Robinson said in the tweet he wants to be involved with the offense. So I want to see if they give him that opportunity to shoot the rock. What happens?
Okay, so this will be my question, because my Mitchell Robinson skepticism comes at this. One, the defense is an issue, and with the added weight, he lost a little bit of that coverage versatility, which we can he wasn't as quick as he had been in years prior. So in turn, we're talking about getting to the level, sliding with guards, lost a little step there. Foul trouble, still an issue. Not as bad. Definitely taking shots.
Wait, hold on. How many games did he foul out this year?
I said no. I said he made strides.
That's not even an issue. He didn't foul out.
Didn't he foul out one game?
I think once.
He fouled one game.
It's not even a small issue.
Okay, so fine. We'll take it off the table. No foul trouble. Offensive
He's the top
stuff.
2 offensive rebounders in the NBA.
I'm talking about offensive, being anything but a lob catcher, extending that money. But I'm not comfortable in the state that the Knicks are in, I'm not comfortable putting that money on the table with the lack of offensive production, like lack of offensive development over the past few years.
How much offensive development Robert Williams III bring in Boston?
Robert Williams is a damn good passer.
Wait, how much offensive development is he bringing Boston? What is he? 20-point score? What?
I don't want him to be 20 points.
I'll say
Robert.
Well, what about Looney and Golden State?
What's that?
What about Looney and Golden State?
Looney's not even a real 5, man. Come on.
But I'll say this. I do agree with Raw that I feel like I'm not sure what he is as a shooter, what he's gonna be as a shooter. I do feel like there's opportunities for Mitch to kind of like do some like quick dribbles to the rim. I do feel like there is a chance for him to develop on the offensive end if he's not injured. To me, injury is more of a factor to me than his skill set. So
I agree. I agree.
But also too, when I talk about shooters in the NBA, right? Robert Williams can get away with not shooting because if you look at the Celtics roster, they have 4 shooters around him. So to me, like in the NBA, you can't really. If you have 1 non-shooter and 4 shooters, I feel like you can survive. So to me, the value of
Rob Will can pass. Like they'll run actions through Rob Will, and he's passing and he's running all like he's not Jokic. He's not a
I was gonna say, man, you act like this dude is Jokic.
No, but I'm saying they can run actions through him. He gives you that versatility. He can pop out to the perimeter and be a threat because he can run dribble handoffs and hit backdoor cutters. Like Mitch, he's not doing that. And that's what I'm just saying. The lack of offensive development, and he's damn good at what he does as being a rim runner. I'm just saying, for me personally, in the state that the Knicks are in as a franchise, I'm not committing that money. Even if 14 mil, I'm not committing. So
Robert Williams, I'm looking, he averages 1.4 assists a game. What backdoor cut? What the hell? Come on, man.
Watch the Celtics.
On, man. I watch the Celtics. They're in the finals, bro. Everybody's watching them. The dude he's playing defense, and that's what he's there to do. He's a defensive anchor type dude, and he's a rim protector. That's what and they're in the finals. Okay.
Now Mitch,
where's Jokic at? Jokic in the finals? No, Jokic watching. Come on, man.
Mitch is not throwing backdoor passes, but Mitch can hit some people with a short roll pass.
Yo, what I'm saying is that they don't run the offense like that. That's not him saying what you want him to take over the game and say I'm going to throw back to. They don't run the offense like that. That's not how they run it. If you include him more, he'll do it. He's got the talent. But I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's on the table. I'm just saying, as a guy, that if you just tell me he's going to be second in the NBA in offensive rebound, he's going to be top 5 in the NBA in blocks. He's going to, and as far as cutting up with guards, I think people, you're looking at him in September when he had no training camp and he's 280 pounds. By the time you got to the All-Star break, he was just like he always was.
Because he dropped the weight. He dropped the weight, so he was better. He got his athleticism.
He was guarding everybody, man. Yeah. There's games where he just completely dominated other players. Like Aiton's still wondering what happened when he came and ate his lunch. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. So come on, man. I mean, no. Mitch Rob is one of our guys. So to me, the 55.6 is the right number for him. It's not too much, and it's definitely not too little. It's the right number. So you get him, and you move on with life. To me, Jalen Duren, you starting yourself back 3 years because you got to now wait for him to learn how to not get in foul trouble. You got to hope that he turns into something. I mean, everybody thought, what's that guy on Golden State? What's his name from Memphis?
Wiseman?
Yeah, everybody thought Wiseman's going to be all world. Where the hell is he?
I mean, he was injured too. So when people was injured, I give him a little bit of grace.
No, you know what? Though?
Hold on.
Like, there's no 5s in this draft. That everybody. What you think? Mark Williams wasn't 7'9" or whatever his wingspan before he came to the draft combine.
Hold on,
Ron. He averaged 50 points a game at Duke.
Hold on. Let Jake. What's your case for Jalen?
He's just much further along than Mitch is even currently as an offensive playmaker.
God.
Hold on.
He's an offensive playmaker, though.
Yo, bro, you know we talking about.
He didn't say defense. He said offense.
He said offense.
He didn't say defense.
No, come on, wait.
Let him talk, bro. Let him talk, bro.
You know we talking about the league, right?
Raw. Time out, Raw.
Yeah, Jalen Duren from day one will be further ahead than Mitchell Robinson currently is as an offensive playmaker, as a short roll passer, as a DHO operator, as someone who's going to you can run actions through as your big man and is not just going to be a rim runner. Yes, I'm confident. I know we're talking about the league. I watched Mitchell Robinson. He's not doing it. He's at 4 years, not doing it.
Because he's not being called to do it. And what makes you think that Tibbs gonna make this rookie Jalen all of a sudden? Oh, we're gonna make him the centerpiece. He's gonna be throwing passes for us and everything. Oh, come on, bro. Stop it.
Everyone has short roll opportunities.
Let me tell you something, man. Jericho Sims will eat this boy's lunch right now. Jericho Sims.
Rim runners. Like now we're just talking athletic rim runners. And this is personally where I like diverge when it comes to valuing big men.
How old is he? Like 18, 19?
He's 19, yeah.
That boy going to the G League too. I'll tell you right now.
He's not going to G League.
He's going to G League.
If we draft Jalen,
he's going to G League. I'm telling you
if we draft Jalen, that's because Mitch is in here.
Yeah, pretty much.
If we draft Jalen, that's because Mitch is in here. If Mitch is in here, then Jalen's going to play.
He's definitely going to play. Because
then it's going to be Jalen. It's going to be Jalen and Sims.
No, JLS. Let me tell you something, man. If Mitch Rob leaves, the Knicks are going to go get Mo Bamba, and that's what they need to do. They're going to go get Mo Bamba. They're not starting off with no rookie point guard. Rookie center. I'm telling you.
You know, you might be right about that. You probably
they're not doing that. So if Mitch Rob leaves, they're going to use the mid-level exception, which is about what Mo Bamba would get, and they're going to get Mo Bamba, and he's going to be the guy in here. So forget this Jalen Duren. They're not getting Jalen Duren or Mark Williams or none of these fives in this. No, hell no.
I'm gonna shoot Jason Bell. I'm gonna shoot Jason Bell because we're all going off. All right,
this is where I'm at. I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
No, I expect to change your mind. I'm just
yeah. No, I'm for the record, I'm kind of with Raw. I'm Team Mitch.
Yeah, I'm Team Mitch too.
And it's just because we pay that man, right? We seen him develop. That man was raw. He was fouling out every game.
Yes. And he is developed, man.
He still can't, man. I think he
fouled out like 3 games the year before last and like 2 games last year.
To me, he has to develop. He has to set a real screen. Like, come on, you got to set a real screen. And if he sets a real screen and he starts to slowly build out his game, which I think he can, I think he'll be fine. Yeah. I'm not sure if he's ever going to be a shooter. To me, like I always said, he has to start he has to hit free throws first before I can be like, all right, you can be a shooter.
No,
hit those free throws first. But to the counterpoint, Jalen isn't really hitting free throws either. So
no, Jalen, it's not the shooting.
Right. But with the edge that I do give to Jalen, though, from what I've seen, because I'm not an expert, just from what I'm seeing, doing a little research I've done, is he is a better passer than Mitch is today. Yeah. He is a better passer than Mitch is today.
I'm saying
Mitch is not abysmal at passing. I've seen Mitch do some nice short roll passes this year, like cutting, see an open man, pass it. I've seen him do that, so I don't think he's hopeless. But Jalen, as of today, is a better passer.
All right, let me say this. Let me say this on Jalen Duren's behalf. Okay, if you whoever drafts him, if you give him 3 seasons, he's going to be really good. He's going to be a defensive Clint Capella, Mitch Robinson anchor defensive dude. I definitely believe that. But that's my point though. By that time, Mitch Rob is defensive player of the year. That's what I'm saying. Why do we want to start over with somebody right now when we have a guy? And if we're going to lose Mitchell Robinson, I still don't want to start over. Mo Bamba is available and he's got NBA experience. And so I would take him for the mid-level exception. But I'm not saying, like, if you're going to tell me you're starting from scratch and you want a center, okay, yeah, I like Duren. I like him like that, but I'm not taking him if I got Mitchell Robinson in his 5th season or if I got Mo Bamba in his 4th season. Nah, I'm taking one of them kids first.
No, I get it. I mean, and that's why like the Jalen Duren conversation it doesn't start with Jalen Duren. It starts with Mitchell Robinson. Like from the Knicks standpoint. That's why that's why you're to lead it. And ultimately, like me and you probably see eye to eye very similarly on Jalen Duren. It's probably more so about Mitchell Robinson, which is totally you're more than entitled to that. I just think, the Knicks are we're in a very interesting point when it comes to team building. Like we talked about Julius Randle a little bit, but like it was about getting off his books to move up in the draft. Like it was probably even like too kind of a conversation to have when we're talking about Randle. And so with Mitch Rob, like, and I think one way or another, like they get off Randle at some point. Like I would be shocked if he rides out the rest of the contract. I don't know what it's gonna take.
No,
but
you're
it just
right.
kind of
yeah,
like Yeah, it just like seemed like there was too much. It seemed like there was. I mean, again, like not source in the locker room, just like the stuff that you could pick up from just watching games. Like it seemed like there was so much animosity, which just like made you like it made you like uncomfortable to watch at times.
Yeah,
it really was bad.
So I like while I don't know what it's gonna cost the Knicks. It might cost the Knicks a second to get off of it or something. I don't know what it's gonna cost, but like I'm not factoring him into like the long term.
No, agreed.
Yeah, me neither.
Brian, we agreed on that. Listen, if I got to give up 2 seconds and send him to wherever, I'm sending him. And give me back somebody's dead contract because he's a 100% addition by subtraction. A period.
I agree with you. So going back on that, so like I think we're gonna get RJ second deal. What that is remains to be seen. But like I think we're all pretty comfortable. Like he's made strides. Third overall pick. Like we got something good for them there. So like I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with RJ. Quickly, Obi. I think we also are gonna want their second contracts as well. Like I don't know how lucrative they are. Again, we have the 11th pick now. Who knows what that is? Maybe we trade up. My point is, at some point, and like you've seen this, Atlanta is like kind of the most recent team I can see that's going through this. Like the only downside to continuously hitting on, and Memphis is going to go through this eventually. The only downside to continuously hitting on the draft is that to keep these guys, you have to pay them. Like it's all sweet when everyone's on their rookie deal and we're stockpiling and we got second year guys contributing, we got third year guys contributing, we got fourth year guys contributing, and then like shit, Atlanta needs to like Cam Reddish. Obviously, that was kind of but he kind of made it easy. But like at one point, it looked like they had Cam, they had Herter, they just brought Bogey. Like it was it's super crowded. They had Hunter. So my point is, in my long-winded response is this: like the Knicks are finally in a place where we have guys that we can like picture being on the team in 3 to 4 years, and I think like that makes me like comfortable. Like I haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah,
and so very long time. So the Mitch decision is like pretty serious to me because at some point you don't run out of cap space because like you can go on the tax, like you get off Randall's books, you don't have any big contracts on the books, but those second contracts add up. Like that's my only point, is that they do start to add up. And if we obviously like RJ's contract, I don't think it's gonna be like a max. It's not gonna be cheap. Definitely not, especially after like the climbs he's made. He is a third overall pick. We're gonna want to keep quickly. You're gonna want to keep topping. Like it kind of just builds up, and at some point, like how comfortable are you really with like those three and Mitch and rolling with that? I don't know. So like my counter to be that like you drafting Duren is starting over. I think if you don't see a wild difference between the two, and again that stems from my like us just not seeing eye to eye on Mitch Robinson, which is like it's basketball. So you think he's better than I do. It's totally fine. A side part of that in which I'm a little eased in by the idea of Duren is one, like he has an interesting skill set that I think is a little bit more appealing from a team building perspective, and two, it buys you time. And I think like that's also a part of it for me, is that like I'm not ready to commit that money, and I'm especially not ready to commit that to Mitch just based off like the trajectory that he's been on. That's personally me. Like I completely understand the other side, but I mean that's kind of like my long-winded response to this is it's not necessarily picking between Mitch and Duren. It's like at some point, like we're not used to this because we don't have extended players, but it's like trouble in paradise is that we're hitting on players and we want to keep them and we want to extend them, and like decisions are gonna have to be made. It is kind of my big point.
No, you know what, Jay Rosen, I agree, but I don't think it's as big a problem. And the reason I don't is this: the salary cap is going to be rising.
It's going to be
So what you have right now in Julius is not as big a hit as it might have been 3 or 4 years ago because of the cap's going to rise. So I'm not worried. And so when you're talking about Mitchell Robinson, $55.6 million over 4 years is basically give or take $14 million. It's a little less than 14. So that's not a big deal. And to me, if you can lock him up for 4 seasons, you will be able to see what you have with all of this crop, because you don't have to pay Obi for another 2 seasons. You don't have to pay IQ for another 2 seasons. And that's why you give these guys, to me, you clear the space from all of these vets and you give these kids as many minutes as you can, because like you said, you want to see what you have. What are you going to invest in 2 seasons from now? Because if they're not the guy, you let them walk, right? Or you trade them while you can. So to me, that's why I'm not worried about Mitchell Robinson. He's going to be 24. He's 24 now. He just turned 24 in April. So you give him for 4 years. You get him until his age 28 contract. And now in that 4-year period, you're going to find out what you have. If you don't have anything, you could always trade that. That's $14 million. You could trade that. So
That's my thing.
In about 3 years, that 14 million is going to be close to the mid-level exception, and you could trade him.
I think that's my thing. I don't want to lose anybody for nothing. We kind of groomed him for 4 years, and
Yeah.
if we lose him and now don't even get an asset back, that's an L for me.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
this organization.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. So even to me, like even if we do sign him for 14, 15, 16, and you're like, okay, well he's still not in the plans for later. But at least you have like I still feel like that's a positive asset because this is a guy who's been drafted the second round, and if there was a redraft from that year, he would go much higher.
Oh yeah.
So I think we have to take advantage of that, whether you're a Mitch fan or not. And I know a lot of people in general philosophy is we don't want to pay big men big money who are just rim runners. They want to pay big men who can do multiple things, and he's not that yet. But there might be a chance. There might be a chance that he can exceed that. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion. You've seen flashes, but pay him the money, and I just say pay him the money. At least have it as an asset.
I don't look at it as a lot of money though. 14 million is not.
Yeah, I don't look at it as a lot of money either.
That's not a lot of money, man.
At least have him as an asset to flip later. If that's how you still feel.
Yeah.
At least have him as an asset. Don't let him walk out the door for nothing. Because I don't think he'll be a negative. I don't think he'll be a negative asset. The only thing that I think will make him a negative asset in the long run is if he gets injured. That's
and I think like we've talked about this before too, because we've definitely touched on the fact that the Knicks have all these good young players coming up, and then eventually there's gonna come a point where you're gonna have to pay everybody, and the Knicks are not gonna have the money to pay everybody. There's gonna be one or two guys that's gonna walk away from the team because the Knicks don't have enough money. So you do have to think about it and be like, okay, out of all the young guys that we have, who are we willing to resign and who are we willing to let go of?
Right.
So I mean, this is always going to be an issue for the Knicks, regardless, But for me personally, like I'm also on the side of, I feel like even though Mitch is not great as offensively when it comes to like passing and all of those things, but I still feel like, at least with his projections going forward, I still feel like he's still a good asset for the Knicks to invest in, just for the simple fact that, because I mean, me personally, like I think this past season he averaged like 8 points and 8 rebounds a game. Like I could easily see Mitch as he's progressing, that he's gonna become a double machine.
Yeah.
Soon that's gonna be like more than 10 points a game, more than 10 rebounds a game, and at least you're getting a guy that's gonna give you double. You at least have a defensive guy that's gonna give you, that rim protection. He's gonna give you those 10 rebounds a game. He's gonna give you those 10 points a game. Because a lot of times I feel like the Knicks don't utilize Mitch properly on offense, and I feel like that's why he doesn't get that many chances to score, because he's an elite rim runner. He finishes at the basket at an elite rate. So it's like I feel like if the Knicks utilized him better, he would be averaging 10 plus points a game. He would at least be averaging 12, 14 points a game. So I mean, yeah, I understand the deficiencies in Mitch's game, but I also feel like that he's at least shown enough to where the Knicks should give him another chance to at least improve with the team. And I mean, if you look at the Knicks history, I cannot remember the last player who the Knicks drafted and they actually re-signed this guy. Like, who's the last player that the Knicks drafted?
But look,
David Lee?
Be honest. Who has
David Lee?
I think it's David Lee. Yeah,
who has been Mitch Rob's point guards, man?
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, come on, give him a real point guard. And to me, if you just come on, let's just take Burks off the table and you put IQ and Deuce at the point guard and you let them play with him all year, you're going to see a better player. You're going to see a better play from him and Obi, because we haven't had really any even like average NBA level consistent point guard play in Mitch's whole career. We just haven't had.
We have a 4 and a 5 who are elite play finishers, yet no one to throw them the lob. Like it's counterintuitive. And I think it's in many ways this draft is wonky for the Knicks, because there's not like we talked about a lot of guys, and we talked about guys that I'm excited about. They're good prospects, yet it's a little square peg in a round hole ish, just because like I love Johnny Davis.
Trade up for Ivy.
But it's like I love Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis like might go through shooting slumps like early in the year. I love AJ Griffin. AJ Griffin might not be able to do anything off the dribble, and like that do the Knicks need more of that? Like even if he brings floor spacing, I don't know. We talked about Mathurin. Mathurin is gonna space the floor. not doing stuff off the dribble. Jalen Duren, love that. Skilled prospect. We have a 5 that we're like in contract limbo with. Like for every guy that the Knicks like is a good prospect and at that range is good, there's a big caveat. So I'm like probably more fascinated with this draft than I've been in a long time for the Knicks.
It's interesting. It is interesting.
It's going to be, and I do think, you know, not only will their pick or their moves tell us a lot about their evaluations, but I think it'll look internally about what they do think they have.
Yeah,
I know last year I was a little upset because I wanted Sharif Cooper really badly, and FLB just kept trading back and trading back.
Yeah,
and taking anyone but Sharif Cooper. I thought that was your point guard, but time will tell. You know, he's
man. Did you see Juice just like jump over him and flush it on the summer league though?
Listen, I didn't want Sharif for his rim protection.
Juice caught the inbounds pass and just jumped over that midget and flushed it.
No, but
my point. That's all I'm saying.
My point is, like, you know, the Knicks process last year, while it ended up, I actually like the players. Like Grimes been good, Deuce been good. I was annoyed because I didn't feel like they were aggressive enough. And like, you know, in hindsight, they acquired stuff. They got off like they probably knew what they were doing. And I probably didn't. Like that's usually how it goes. But I think this year is going to be super interesting because, you know, I don't think there is much equity to trading back. I don't think there will be a lot of guys trying to trade up to 11. I think you're going to have to get up there and make a pick. And there's no consensus. There's no right guy. There will be, in my opinion, as like someone who takes the scouting stuff very seriously, a bunch of good options. A lot of places where you can't, like, there are a lot of ways where the Knicks don't fuck this up, in my opinion. Like, and you know, whether they pan out or not, who's to say? But from a scouting perspective, like there are a bunch of players in this range that I would say, good job. Like, you got up there, made the pick. But
that's true.
A lot of them, it's gonna show. Both I think how the Knicks evaluate them, what skill sets they're prioritizing, and how they view the internal prospects. Because of course we're not in the building. They're in the building every day. They see these guys in practice. They know, I mean, way more than we do about anything and everything. So I'm very fascinated by what they do at 11.
No, you're right. I mean, like that's why I said in the beginning, Jake was like, you know, at 11, you were saying, and tell me if I'm wrong, Jake, but you were saying you're going to get a good player at 11. You're going to get somebody good. And that's what I'm saying. So you could, to me, get a game changer if you could possibly move up. But if all else fails and you don't move up, you're going to get a good guy at 11. Whether, you know, even like I'm not that high on Davis, but I consider Davis a solid guy. He'd be a solid pick. I love Sohan. I like Tari Eason. I like Ogbaji. I like Malachi Branham. You got a lot of options that you really can't screw up at 11. So
I agree with you.
So if they can move up, I think there's a chance to get a game changer. But if not, okay, we can get something good at 11.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm in lockstep there.
Yeah. I think this is a good place to end it, man. This is a good place to end it. Consensus. A lot of decent pleadings at 11.
Jake's been the best guest we had, man. I like him even better than Berman. He's been good. He's
good. Gunshots for Jake. Don't tell Berman he said that, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, because we would like Berman to come back, you know.
I like to get Berman back. But Jake is better, man. I like Jake. Jake is more passionate. He ain't putting that pie in the sky. I heard the rumor of we getting LeBron ball, you know.
Nah, Jake is a real. This is the reason why I keep asking Jake back.
I appreciate you guys having me. Like, this is for me as fun as it gets. Like, it's real basketball, and you know, it wouldn't. If I made it 2 hours without getting put in the hot seat. I mean, I kind of did it to myself when I'm asking, what do you guys think about Mitchell Robinson's second contract? Like, that's you know the meme. It's like the meme. It's like don't ask a man what he makes. Like, don't ask a woman her age. Like, don't ask a Knicks fan Mitchell Robinson's second contract. Like,
don't ask a Knicks fan today.
You just stepped on my new Adidas, man.
These are the conversations I want to have. So this was
okay.
A lot of fun.
What do you think of Emmanuel quickly? Hold on.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's gonna be like another half hour.
I know.
Is Emmanuel quickly the point guard of the future?
Yeah, is Emmanuel quickly the point guard of the future? Whoa. Yo,
oh,
man.
I'm Deuce game all in, baby. That's me.
Yo, I'm in.
I like Emmanuel quickly now.
I like Emmanuel quickly.
So do I.
Yeah, I like
But I want Deuce. I want to see him get 30 minutes a game for just 15 games, and let's see what happens.
I will say this in my man quickly, right? The passing that he's shown towards the second half of the season has made me very hopeful that he can be a cog in the offense steadily, especially if he's paired with Obi Toppin, because those two guys are like wonder twins or something. I don't know if they have like psychic abilities or what, but they always seem to find each other, and his ability to rebound kind of meshes, and his ability to kind of throw like go ahead pass kind of meshes with Obi's speed in the open court, like that. My thing with man quickly is watching these playoffs. Man, they really hunt. Like they really hunt these shorter guards.
Oh
like,
yeah.
they
Yeah, they do.
really.
Oh yeah.
And quickly he's a pretty good defensive guard, and I kind of feel like for the season, if we decide to go quickly next season to start, I feel like I feel like he can tear up the regular season, and then when it gets to like the playoffs, he might have some problems. Like I watch because I'm looking at it quickly. I seem like Dollar Tree Trae Young, right? That's how I see him, right? in my
Dollar
mind.
Tree Trae Young.
Dollar Tree Trae Young. Right? Like he kind of like foul baits. He can shoot the three from the half, damn near half court. The playmaking is not on his level, but it's growing, and he actually plays better defense than Trae Young.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, of course, yeah.
But like when he got to Miami, man, they just put the size on him, and they just wore him down.
And that's what Boston is doing. With you got Tatum guarding Curry,
right?
Most of the time. So and they got Marcus Smart guarding Draymond Green.
Yeah.
So like to me, the only way to kind of combat that, if you're going to have quickly as a starter, is to have some big guy next to him who can play defense and be like help out and also do some playmaking too, because. Like I feel like 48 minutes of that or 30 minutes of that is gonna wear him down eventually. So that's one of the biggest takeaways.
I'm not as worried because to me, like when you're watching Boston, those guys have played together for what 3 or 4 years now. 4 years, all those guys.
Yeah.
So you're watching
you're
watching a graduate school course in playoff basketball because those guys have played together. The Knicks are not even at that level yet, but we need to build the framework so that we can let these guys play together for a while and build a framework like that. But we just have to do it. Last year we wasted a year, but I'm hoping this season we can make up some time.
Absolutely.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's my little quickly soliloquy. I don't know. I'm out. All right, that is our show. Hold on. First of all, my bad. Shout out to Jason M who sent the $2 chat like 3 hours ago. My bad, man. He said good comp for John Davis is Alec Burks with defense. Alec Burks with defense.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is like, see, Davis to me is a perfect college basketball player. My problem is that I don't know. I'm just saying I'm not saying he will or he won't, but I'm saying he can play at the 45 RPM in college. I'm not sure if he can do all those things at the 78 RPM in the NBA. That's all. If he might, and Ryan, Jake opened my eyes to something. I didn't know he was dealing with an ankle issue. Like I didn't know that's what's causing it, because there was a lack of pop. I noticed the lack of explosion, and I didn't know if that's just he didn't have it. Now you're telling me he got, maybe that's what it was. So I mean,
he's still not super. I would recommend go watching like, early January, like early in Big Ten comp. But even then, he gets to his spots. He's very efficient with movements, but it's not like necessarily straight line burst on where he's
but he just played. He has such a high IQ. He makes the right pass. He puts himself in the right defensive position. He really is a really solid, really good player. But I'm just wondering if his game translates to the NBA in terms of the speed and power of the NBA game. That's my only concern. If it does, he's going to be a solid pro. But if not, he's going to have a problem.
No, that's definitely fair. Definitely fair.
Yeah. All right. I think this is a good time to wrap it up for right now.